I started around 2015 when the original Splatoon came out.
I started 2015 too, but I also did cosplays in my birthdays a lot.
When I was like 5 years old, I went to a con in Aguada, and that was my first ever one, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Me too. It was also in a mall in a Comic-Con, and that's when I first heard that there's people that dress up that's not for Halloween, and I was like, whoa. In YouTube, I think the people that I like the most are the ones that if they pop up whenever I search, Jinx cosplay, and they just give tutorials of how to do. Those are the ones that are like, wow, they dedicated so much time into making that video.
We saw the show, and I know that it's like, that's really cool, so I want to do that.
To me, I really love the Power's personality. Like, she's really brash and powerful. And I just really liked her, and I was like, yes, let's do it together.
So I found a YouTuber that actually gave out the template for free with cardboard. So I decided to do that with paper mache, PVC pipes, paint. That's how I got mine done.
And for mine, I searched up a person in YouTube on how to do the scythe, and the clothes, I just bought them online, and I added the blood splatter. Well, I had to use some cardboard and a pole I had around my house that was for the windows. So I used that, and I made the scythe. So. Yeah, resourcefulness.
I think they're pretty nice. A lot of them, they're really welcoming. They're like, wow, that's an amazing cosplay. Good job, keep going. And I had a lot of that going on when I went to Aguadilla Mall, because that's the first time that I kind of felt so welcomed by the community because I did it. They're like, great job. And to be honest now, I feel like doing it more because of that. It was inspiring and gave me some hope.
The cosplay community is really welcoming, like Jayden said. They're really nice, at least from the people I've met, but I know that there's some downsides to the community. But most of them is just really nice.
It's definitely been positive. Definitely made my life a bit more enjoyable because it's something I get to look forward to every time we get to.
For me, it has been a very positive impact on my life. I get to see people that share the same interests as I have, and we get to meet each other and know about our opinions about stuff and just geek out.
I try to remember most like how they acted in the scenes. For example, of Chainsaw Man, he always acted wild and crazy. So that's what I tried to depict in the photos that I took of people.
For me, I like to search up before the con, and I like to learn about facts about them so I can just like know those facts and like share them with people. Oh, do you know that this? And I'll try to impersonate what I saw in the anime too, or in the show.
Seeing people's shocked faces, definitely. It's always something seeing the reactions like, is that Chainsaw Man?
Also seeing people's reactions, like when they see us, they're like, whoa, it's this character that they recognize us. That's like the best feeling.
My first big one was mainly people's reactions when I went to Chainsaw Man, because a lot of people wanted to, and I found out like, oh, so many people are interested in it. That's great. I didn't expect so many people to enjoy it that much.
For me, when I first started cosplaying, I cosplayed as Mikasa, and I went to this Aguada Comic-Con, and there was this guy on the table that was signing. He was like at the part of a famous thing, and I was walking around in front of his table, and he stood up from that table and went over to me to ask for a picture, and I was like, oh. And then after he took the picture of me, he was like, oh, you're doing amazing, that cosplay was really good, and keep it up. And that was like very heartfelt for me.
No, I don't think it's just a phase. It's definitely part of people's lives that can keep going for years and years.
Cosplay is for everyone, basically. Everyone can enjoy this and be part of it Yeah, it can be a lifestyle because there's some people that if they get paid to do cosplays. The photographers also get paid a bunch for to take photos and the edits, all everything. Yeah.
A good example, I think, would be the community that makes the fursuits. They made that their lifestyle and they do amazing. I do. I make them myself.
Me too. I made the scythe myself.
I don't think they have to. It's more like if you do it, it is a nice touch to your cosplay, but if you also just get it from the internet or buy it online or have someone else do your makeup, that's completely fine too. You're still cosplaying. I just think homemade stuff also has that charm to it that shows that you also really like it and you wanted to do it yourself.
If you don't make your own cosplay, it doesn't really change the fact that you're a cosplayer.
I don't think you have to be dedicated to it. You can still go in and cosplay. It's like even if you only did it once, as long as you had fun and enjoyed it, you can call yourself a cosplayer. You don't have to dedicate a lot of time to it.
There's some cosplayers that believe that if you cosplay only once, you're not really a true cosplayer. But I think that if you cosplay, and because there's people that don't have much time or resources to make their own cosplays all the time, so if you only cosplayed once, it's okay. You're part of the community.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's an amazing way for people to express themselves freely.
And they get to be the characters that they inspired themselves off in the screen. Halloween is more like you dress up as a character you look up to, and you go and grab some candy and have a good time. Meanwhile, cosplay is more like you get into the character, cosplay, and also someone that inspires you, a character that inspires you. But it's more, you're more into it. Yeah, you're more personal.
I don't have one yet, but if I had to choose right now, it would probably be her, because she does really good cosplays as well. She's done it all her life. Like,
well, my favorite cosplayer is this Joker. Yes, Puerto Rican cosplayer. This Joker I saw in the Aguadilla Mall. I wanted to take a picture of him so badly, but then I just couldn't find him. It was such sad. But I found his account on Instagram.
that I don't have, but I do have a genre of them. It's my favorite is the Gundam cosplayers, the one that make the really big mech suits. Those people amaze me.
For me, it has to be Non-Binate on Instagram. They do a lot of Owl House cosplays, Arcane, a lot of my favorite characters, and I absolutely adore them.
I think it does. It definitely helps boost it and move it for more people.
Yeah, it does like quite a lot because there's a lot of medias like video games, all that influences people to start making their own cosplays. I think anime and video games.
I think anime as well, because with video games, a lot of it's kind of like you see a lot of over-the-top armor, which is a little more difficult to do, but with anime you can get like more simplistic things so that people can get into the character easier. I've only really started cosplaying and making my account recently, so I haven't been able to build it up like other people have.
I also recently started, but it has been a bit difficult on getting people to know that, that's me in the photo. And I'm glad because there's some people that know me and they're like, oh, this is the person that's in your photo. So they tag me and well, people get to know that that was me.
I feel like it's like the material management, that's one. But another is trying to get it just right. Because if something goes wrong, you'll get really worried, like, oh, it might not end up perfect how I want it to. And that's a little concerning, but you'll get past it and eventually it's like, oh, I didn't have to worry that much. It's actually looking really good.
It's time management because sometimes the Comic Cons are in such short notice and the props can't be done like easily.
I have not been, not yet at least.
Well, for me, there was this one time I dressed up as Frisk from Undertale, and I got criticized because I didn't make the exact face like them, that there was like a neutral face. I was kind of smiling, and the photographer didn't really like that. So he just nicely criticized, but still.
Some, I think, is trying not to start with a ginormous project, because I know it's like, oh, you have an idea and it's huge and you want to do it, but if it's your first time, it might be a bit more difficult because then you'll be disappointed it's not perfect. So I think I recommend start off a little small and then build your way up towards the bigger stuff.
To not be frustrated if you don't get it right, because that makes it original in your own way.